Okay, let's start with a reality that I think almost everyone in the modern economy understands. We all need legal help sometimes, right?
Yeah.
But actually seeking it out,
Mm.
it feels like a high-stakes emergency.
Oh, absolutely. The legal system is often synonymous with, crushing complexity.
Right. And opaque billing, time delays,
Yeah.
it can turn a simple problem into a life-altering crisis.
For the vast majority of people, calling a lawyer feels like you're hitting the panic button.
Exactly. Not like you're accessing a necessary utility. Okay, so let's unpack this. Imagine if accessing a specialized high-quality lawyer was as simple, as predictable, and, as budget-friendly as paying for your monthly streaming subscription.
Mm-hmm.
That radical shift from high-cost reactive crisis management to affordable proactive legal security, that's the mission of the deep dive we're doing today into LegalShield and its parallel service, IDShield.
That analogy of a utility or a subscription is just perfect because the core identity of LegalShield is really rooted in bridging what we call the legal gap.
The legal gap.
Yeah. It's this systemic failure to provide widespread access to justice and security. It's the idea that these crucial elements of modern life shouldn't just be for those who can afford the highest hourly rates.
So they basically said, let's productize legal access.
That's it.
And the origin story here isn't abstract at all. It's a perfect example of that gap in action. Tell us about Harlan Stonecipher.
Right. It all started back in 1969 with a really stressful real-world scenario. It involved an Oklahoma insurance salesman named Harlan Stonecipher. He was in a serious car accident.
Okay.
And even though the accident was definitively not his fault, he found himself just struggling immensely to handle and, pay the substantial legal fees required to resolve everything.
So he was vindicated, but still penalized financially.
Exactly. And he had this moment of clarity. He realized that if he, a professional, someone with insurance and relative financial stability, if he struggled this much just to pay for necessary legal defense, then the average working family must be completely shut out of the system.
That insight, it sparked a fundamental change.
It did. 3 years later, in 1972, he founded Prepaid Legal Services, Inc., which we now know as LegalShield. His vision wasn't just to offer a service, it was to build a completely proprietary network of high-quality law firms dedicated to providing affordable, quality legal services through a predictable subscription model, essentially putting a law firm on retainer for millions.
That model must have required some pretty serious structural changes to how law firms usually operate.
It did, and the market response really confirms how disruptive it was. The company grew from a very humble one-room operation to being publicly traded on the New York Stock Exchange by 1999.
Wow.
And today, that vision has just scaled dramatically. It's protecting and empowering over 4.5 million lives and serving 140,000 small businesses across North America.
That massive scale is why the source material doesn't just call it a successful company.
Yeah.
It defines LegalShield as a disruptive force.
Right.
It's changing the fundamental mechanism of how you access legal counsel.
And that comparison to other disruptive innovators is so key. Think about the common thread, right? Uber disrupted transportation by making a ride accessible with a mobile app. Amazon revolutionized shopping by digitizing storefronts. And of course, Netflix and Spotify completely restructured how we consume media through that predictable monthly subscription model.
So in all those examples, the disruptive element was removing some kind of insurmountable hurdle-like high cost or inconvenience or just complexity and replacing it with simple tech and predictable pricing.
And that's precisely the aim here. They applied that same disruptive logic to the traditional legal system, which is, notorious for being expensive, complicated, and incredibly time-consuming.
So instead of getting hit with an unpredictable, massive hourly bill when you're already stressed out,
you just pay a predictable monthly fee. The technology, the mobile app, it lets you connect directly to professional legal support, making law firms simpler, easier, and just dramatically more affordable to access.
I want to push on that disruptive element a bit, though. I mean, the legal profession, historically, it's been highly regulated. It often resists external corporate influence, partly for good ethical reasons, right, to protect client independence.
Right.
So how did this model succeed where others might have failed to break that resistance?
That's an excellent and a really necessary question. The traditional legal structure resisted these prepaid models for a long time, largely due to ethical rules against the, quote, corporate practice of law.
Managed by the bar associations.
Exactly. But LegalShield navigated this by building and maintaining a proprietary network of independent law firms. The firms are vetted, they're contracted, but they are not employees of LegalShield.
I see. So the independence of the lawyer is maintained, but the client acquisition and all that administrative burden is centralized.
Precisely. The core innovation wasn't just the subscription fee, it was creating this quality-controlled ecosystem.
Right.
The firms agree to these fixed fee schedules for covered benefits, and that's what allows LegalShield to offer that predictable monthly price point to you. It totally transforms the economics for the consumer.
And it shifts the firm's focus.
It does. It shifts their focus from billing high hours to efficiently managing high volume and ensuring member satisfaction.
That leads us directly to the next crucial question then. We're talking about a proprietary managed network. How does LegalShield make sure that this high volume doesn't compromise the quality of the service? I mean, quality control is paramount in legal services.
Absolutely. And the quality assurance is fundamentally built into the vetting process and the business model itself.
Yeah.
It relies on this dedicated network of provider law firms across the U.S. and Canada. We're not talking about a rotating cast of firms here. These are carefully selected partners.
And the experience level you mentioned is quite high.
It is. The lawyers in this network are highly experienced, averaging 22 years of legal experience.
22 years.
Yeah. And that's crucial because it means when you call, you're not being handed off to some junior associate who's still learning the ropes. You're speaking with a seasoned professional.
I'm curious about the mechanism behind that quality guarantee. You mentioned the collective buying power of the members. How does high volume specifically guarantee quality instead of, potentially stretching the firms too thin?
That's a deep insight. The quality really comes from focus and efficiency. In a traditional law firm, partners spend immense amounts of time and capital on marketing, on client acquisition, on complex hourly billing.
Chasing billable hours.
Exactly. When a firm joins the LegalShield network, they get access to a massive, centralized, vetted pipeline of clients, the entire membership base.
Well, they spend less time on that and more time delivering the actual legal service.
Precisely. And this lets the provider firm specialize. Instead of being a jack of all trades, handling real estate one minute and criminal defense the next, the network firms can focus intensely on high-touch service and managing that volume efficiently.
They can staff correctly because they know what to expect.
They know what to expect. They can develop streamlined internal processes.
And this efficiency is tracked in real time. Tell us about the proprietary monitoring system.
LegalShield has very strict proprietary quality controls. This system performs daily, real-time monitoring of the provider law firms. It tracks critical metrics responsiveness, resolution times, and most importantly, member satisfaction.
So if a firm's performance drops, the system flags it immediately.
Immediately. It allows for continuous quality improvement and intervention.
And we can actually quantify this quality, right, through the Net Promoter Score.
Yes. The average Net Promoter Score, or NPS, for the LegalShield Provider Law Firm Network is 54.
54. And how does that compare?
Well, when you compare it to benchmarks in similar complex services, for instance, life insurance typically averages a 27, health insurance is around 39. A score of 54 suggests a profoundly high degree of member satisfaction.
That high satisfaction has to be tied directly to the access model, this idea of having a lawyer in your pocket.
Absolutely. Access is frictionless. Members connect via the mobile app, the web portal, or just a simple phone call.
And the app is key.
The app is designed to be the central nervous system. You can request a consultation immediately, and crucially, you can upload files right then and there, images, documents, videos, to support your request before the lawyer even calls you back.
And central to that peace of mind is the 24/7 365 emergency access. What kinds of situations trigger that immediate round-the-clock support?
These are the truly high-stakes, time-sensitive scenarios where a delay of even an hour could be catastrophic.
Like what?
The coverage includes being questioned or detained by law enforcement, being in a car accident with a potential injury, or in the most severe cases, if the government is attempting to remove children from the home.
Wow.
Immediate legal guidance in those situations is not just helpful, it can literally determine the outcome.
So once a member is connected, what's the core mechanism of the service? We know the foundation is unlimited consultation, but how much can you actually use the lawyer without that threat of a bill hanging over you?
So the foundation of all the personal plans is indeed unlimited phone consultation on any personal legal issue. And this is critical. They even cover pre-existing personal matters. with just a few exclusions, like bankruptcies.
Yeah.
The provider law firms handle all the fully covered matters in-network, meaning there are 0 hourly fees for those specific delineated benefits.
That unlimited consultation is a game changer. Because traditionally, just that initial advice or a basic question can cost hundreds of dollars, which scares people away from seeking help at all.
And for matters that extend beyond the fully covered benefits, let's say a complex litigation that requires a lot of court time members get a significant discount on the hourly rate.
How much of a discount?
Depending on the plan you choose, it's either 15% or 25% off the standard hourly rate. So you're always legally empowered, even for major uncovered needs. And since we're ready to deep dive into the specifics of the plans, we have to ground this discussion in reality. What kind of legal matters are people actually dealing with day to day? Because the need for this service is not driven by high-stakes corporate mergers.
That's vital. Most people only associate lawyers with, criminal defense or divorce court or multi-million-dollar lawsuits.
Right.
But the source data clearly shows that lawyers are needed for a whole spectrum of everyday issues that people just bought away. They often accept as a loss because the cost of fighting it seems impossibly high.
Exactly. The data highlights these common legal needs that crop up constantly.
Like what?
Warranty issues that a retailer won't honor, disputes over a security deposit when you move, the hassle of fighting a traffic ticket,
Consumer finance issues.
consumer finance, reviewing a complex contract before you sign for a home renovation.
Or even just neighbor disputes, right?
Right.
Property lines, fence repairs, that kind of thing.
All of it.
And if you try to handle those on your own or just ignore them because of the cost, the problem generally just snowballs until it becomes a crisis.
And the power of the membership is that immediate leverage you get from a lawyer's letterhead and their expertise.
Okay, so let's get into the granular level of the three main personal plans. We have basic, preferred, and premium.
Right. And we should note that while pricing varies a bit between the U.S. and Canada, basic starts around $29.95 in the U.S., the tiered structure and the value proposition are really consistent.
Let's start with family definition first, because that immediately impacts the value for a lot of people.
That's the first major scaling point. The basic plan typically covers the member and their spouse.
Okay, pretty straightforward.
But the preferred plan dramatically increases that coverage to include the entire family unit, so the member, their spouse, and eligible dependents.
And what's an eligible dependent?
That means unmarried children up to age 26, living at home or full-time students, plus any disabled or incapacitated children regardless of their age. The premium plan covers that same extensive group.
So the preferred tier is really the entry point designed for the complexity of family life. It offers that broad dependent coverage right away. Now let's look at the core administrative benefits, like document review capacity.
Okay, on document review, the capacity scales logically. The basic plan lets you review personal legal documents up to 15 pages each. For the preferred plan, that capacity increases to 25 pages per document. And the premium plan offers the most, covering documents up to 35 pages each.
That difference is significant. I mean, 15 pages covers a basic lease, but 35 pages is essential if you're reviewing a big home equity loan document or a complex vendor agreement.
Precisely. And in terms of letters and phone calls on behalf of the member, that capacity also grows. The basic plan gives you one letter or phone call per unrelated legal matter.
And the higher tiers.
The preferred and premium plans enhance this by including one follow-up letter or call per issue.
And that follow-up is often what gets it done.
It's often what truly resolves a stubborn dispute without needing to go any further.
And for services that fall outside those covered benefits, the membership still secures you a discount.
Yes. The basic plan provides a 15% discount off the provider law firm's standard hourly rate. Both the preferred and premium plans increase that discount substantially to a more robust 25% off.
Now, we have to highlight the specific legal research differences between the U.S. and Canadian plans. I found this particularly interesting.
This is a crucial detail. In the U.S., all three plans, basic, preferred, and premium, generally include up to 1 hour of legal research per matter, which is often enough, to establish if you have a case.
But Canada's different.
The Canadian plans offer a much deeper tiered research benefit. The preferred plan offers up to 3 hours of legal research per matter, and the premium plan increases that to up to 5 hours of legal research.
Let's discuss the implication of that difference. If I'm dealing with a complex property line dispute in Canada, why does having 5 hours of research matter more than one?
Because those kinds of disputes often hinge on historical zoning codes, local ordinances, complex precedents that were set years ago.
Right.
1 hour of research might confirm if you have a case. 5 hours of research lets the lawyer definitively establish the strength of your claim, draft more powerful initiating documents, and potentially avoid litigation entirely by providing incontrovertible evidence during negotiation.
It's a massive difference in leverage.
A massive difference.
Okay, now let's move to an area of law that most people will encounter at some point: real estate and motor vehicles.
For real estate and housing, all plans provide advice on general matters like real estate transactions, renters' rights, landlord-tenant issues.
But the preferred and premium plans add more protective review services.
They do. They include review of residential loan documents and tenant lease assistance for your primary residence once per membership year. This proactive document review is key to avoiding costly, long-term contractual mistakes.
This brings us back to that powerful anecdote the sources provided about the certified pre-owned vehicle. Let's dive deeper there, because it perfectly illustrates the power of this proactive intervention.
Right. So the member bought a certified pre-owned vehicle, but the dealership failed to make promised repairs and provide the necessary certification.
So the car was unsafe.
The vehicle turned out to be unsafe and needed thousands of dollars in further repairs. And you can just imagine the stress and the time sink for that member having a broken, unsafe car and being stonewalled by a major dealership.
And without LegalShield, your only recourse is a costly lawsuit, or you just accept the loss.
Exactly. But the member used their law firm, which immediately sent a strong, detailed letter on official letterhead, clearly stating the legal liability and the breach of contract.
And that shifted the entire negotiation.
Immediately. Ultimately, the member got full reimbursement for all the repair costs and still drove their now repaired certified vehicle, all for just that predictable monthly fee.
Wow.
That's the difference between being a lone consumer fighting a corporation and having a team of legal professionals backing you up.
That moves us directly to motor vehicle services, where everyone runs the risk of getting a ticket or being in an accident.
This is a highly utilized tiered benefit. All plans offer consultation and advice for moving traffic violations. If it escalates to needing representation in court for a covered moving violation, there's a consistent low flat fee of $79.
$79 US or Canadian.
Right.
And how does the coverage for the actual court appearance scale between the plans?
It's based on annual appearances and how long you have to wait. The basic plan covers 1 court appearance per member per year. It's restricted to in-state or in-province only, and it has a 90-day waiting period.
And preferred.
The preferred plan doubles the coverage to 2 appearances per member per year, and critically, it slashes that waiting period down to just 10 days. The premium plan offers the most coverage at 3 appearances per member per year, also with only a 10-day wait.
Beyond just tickets, the higher plans add services for more administrative driving crises.
Yes. Preferred and premium introduce coverage for driver's license reinstatement and property damage claims for damages up to $5,000. The preferred plan offers 1 hour of provider time per occurrence for these issues. The premium plan increases this protection to 2 hours per occurrence in Canada and 2 hours total in the U.S., which gives you more lawyer time for those complex processes.
And the premium plan has a very serious, specialized edition regarding defense in the most severe driving cases.
This is a grim but vital feature. The premium plan includes defense for death-related traffic charges.
So we're talking about things like vehicular manslaughter.
Exactly. Vehicular manslaughter, involuntary manslaughter, negligent homicide. These are legally complex cases where immediate and extensive representation is absolutely non-negotiable.
Okay, let's discuss the more serious litigation features: civil trial defense and IRS or CRA audit assistance.
Civil trial defense is included in all plans. It provides scheduled hours for representation if the member is named as a defendant in a covered civil lawsuit.
Now, we need to pause here and clarify a critical legal distinction. This benefit is explicitly for defense, meaning when you, the member, are a defendant, not when you initiate the legal action as the plaintiff.
That's right.
Can you give us a practical example so the listener understands that boundary?
Certainly. If your neighbor sues you over that fence dispute we mentioned, or a contractor sues you for non-payment, you are the defendant and this coverage applies. It includes scheduled trial hours.
But if you want to sue the dealership?
Exactly. If you want to sue the dealership over the faulty car, the plan offers that 25% discount, but not the full representation because you're initiating the action. The logic is to protect you from unexpected attacks, not to fund your offensive lawsuits.
That clarity is essential. And how does the coverage scale over time?
The hours scale up over the years of your membership, so it rewards loyalty. For instance, the basic plan maxes out at 150 total hours after 5 years.
Okay.
The preferred and premium plans offer significantly more, maxing out at 300 total hours after 5 years. And notably, the U.S. premium plan starts with a robust 100 combined hours available in the very first year.
And for tax worries, which can be paralyzing for individuals.
Preferred and premium members get consultation, advice, and representation if they're audited by the IRS or the CRA on their personal tax returns. This follows a similar scaling schedule, starting with up to 10 hours of trial time in the first year and maxing out at 50 hours after 5 years of membership.
So you're not navigating that regulatory maze alone.
Not at all.
Okay, estate planning. It might sound like a benefit exclusively for the wealthy, but the sources really emphasize its critical role in just avoiding family conflict and managing incapacitation during everyday life.
That's absolutely correct. The most crucial function of the estate documents included in these plans is not just about transferring wealth, it's about providing unambiguous direction during emotional crises.
Right.
A will, for example, designates who gets your estate, who administers it, and most importantly, if you have young children, who serves as their legal guardian.
And the immediate financial value here for the listener is substantial, even on the basic plan.
Massive. The core feature of every LegalShield personal plan, even basic, is the preparation of your fundamental estate documents by a provider lawyer at no additional cost.
What did that include?
Your last will and testament, your living will or physician's directive, that's your advance directive for end-of-life medical decisions, and your power of attorney.
And we estimated that most lawyers charge, what, an average of $1,500 just to draft a basic will and estate plan?
At least. So receiving this essential service bundled into a monthly subscription makes the value highly apparent.
And life changes constantly, right?
All the time. Marriage, divorce, children, retirement. Your will should be reviewed and probably updated pretty frequently. For preferred and premium plans, these documents include annual reviews and updates or amendments as long as you remain a member.
So it removes the inertia and the cost that stop people from keeping their documents current.
Exactly.
Let's explore the profound negative consequences of skipping this step dying intestate.
Dying intestate or without a valid will is just a recipe for a bureaucratic nightmare and devastating family conflict.
Because the state decides everything.
The state decides everything. When there's no will, the distribution of your assets, guardianship for your kids, appointing an administrator, it's all left up to state or provincial laws and the court system. Your voice is completely removed.
The sources cited a powerful financial figure here related to probate.
Yes. Probate, that's the legal process of validating the will and administering the estate. It can be long, drawn out, and expensive. It can easily take up to 2 years to resolve an estate through probate.
2 years.
Running up legal bills that can exceed $12,000 on average.
But beyond the financial cost, there's the emotional cost, which is often far more damaging to the family legacy.
That's the true consequence. If you haven't named a guardian for your minor children, the state decides. And that can pit family members against each other in court, fighting over who's best suited, causing permanent rifts during a time of grief.
A clear, well-drafted will helps minimize all of that.
It eases the immense burden on your loved ones.
And the other documents, the living will and powers of attorney, they address crises while you were still alive.
They're critical planning tools for incapacitation. A living will dictates your specific medical treatment wishes if you become unable to speak for yourself. It provides clear, unambiguous directions, alleviating those impossible choices your family would otherwise face.
And then there are the different types of powers of attorney. We need to clearly define the difference between a durable and a springing POA for the listener.
This is a classic point of confusion. A power of attorney, or POA, appoints an agent, a competent person, to make financial or medical decisions on your behalf. There are many types, but the most important distinction is timing.
Okay.
A durable POA activates immediately upon signing and stays in effect even if you become incapacitated. It's for ongoing, proactive management.
And the springing POA.
A springing POA is designed to spring into action only when a specific trigger event occurs, usually a certified finding by 2 doctors that you're incapacitated.
So a lawyer helps you tailor the specific type you need.
Right. Whether it's healthcare, financial, or a special POA for a single transaction, they make sure it's legally enforceable where you live.
Now, for those looking for the highest level of sophisticated asset protection, The premium plan introduces some more advanced estate tools.
Yes. The premium plan, in both the U.S. and Canada, includes assistance with simplified probate or summary estate administration. This is a crucial benefit.
How so?
When an estate is small and assets are straightforward, these simplified processes can be used. The full probate process requires extensive court filings and hearings. Simplified administration allows estates to be settled much faster, often with minimal court supervision, saving time and immense stress.
And this applies if the will was prepared by the provider firm.
Yes, and after a 180-day waiting period.
And for U.S. members looking at potentially avoiding probate entirely, the premium plan introduces trusts.
That's a powerful distinction. In the U.S. premium plan, members can have a basic revocable living trust prepared for a flat fee of $250 each, and this includes annual updates.
And trusts help avoid probate.
They help avoid probate, they can help manage estate taxes, and they also let you establish specific rules for how assets are used for your beneficiaries, like minor children, giving you ongoing control.
Finally, we need to cover the family law services, which often require a maturation period.
Correct. For these sensitive areas, after 180 days of continuous membership, the preferred and premium plans activate services for uncontested family matters. This includes preparation for uncontested name changes and minor adoptions.
Other than the member and spouse.
Right.
And what about separation or divorce?
The plans offer services related to uncontested separation, divorce, or civil annulment for the primary member only.
And prenups.
The U.S. preferred and premium plans can also assist with preparing prenuptial and postnuptial agreements, which is vital proactive planning for couples.
Okay, let's transition. In a world where data breaches are constant and our digital identities are always under threat, legal protection really goes hand in hand with digital protection. You can have a perfect will and a pristine financial plan. But if your bank account is drained due to identity theft, you still have a massive legal and financial crisis. Let's shift our focus now to IDShield.
The threat landscape is undeniable. When millions of people become victims of identity theft every year, you need more than just simple credit monitoring. IDShield focuses on smart protection for all the ways we connect.
So, proactive monitoring, digital defense, and most importantly, expert restoration.
Exactly.
What are the core monitoring and alerting services they provide?
So IDShield continuously monitors your personally identifiable information, or PII.
Your social security number, passwords, dates of birth, that sort of thing.
Exactly. They scan online sources, particularly the dark web, looking for compromised PII across millions of data points.
And for financial security.
They monitor credit reports TransUnion in Canada, along with other credit accounts, and they provide instant alerts on 12 key elements of theft or fraudulent activity.
And there's also the financial threshold account monitoring.
Right. That's a specialized service that alerts you specifically to unusual financial withdrawals, balance transfers, and large purchases that go over a set amount on your checking, savings, and loan accounts.
The restoration piece is what really differentiates this from services that just show you the breach. What happens if identity theft actually occurs?
If a theft occurs, iShield provides full-service identity restoration. This means they do all the heavy lifting to get your identity back to its pre-theft status.
And they have an unlimited service guarantee.
Right. Restoration specialists will literally do whatever it takes for as long as it takes to resolve the issue while you're a member.
And in the U.S. plan, this restoration is managed by highly specific licensed professionals.
Correct. U.S. plans assign a licensed private investigator to the case, licensed in Oklahoma. This ensures the case is handled with professional rigor.
And there's a monetary protection as well.
Yes, the U.S. plan includes up to $3 million in identity fraud protection to cover certain costs related to a covered event. And of course, you get 24/7, 365 emergency assistance.
Let's look at the proactive side, the digital defense tools they offer, largely through their partnership with Trend Micro.
This moves beyond just reaction to actual prevention. Trend Micro Maximal Security provides cloud-based AI tech for proactive defense against malware, ransomware, and viruses.
And equally important for modern life is network security, which is addressed by the VPN.
Exactly. VPN Proxy 1.
So why is a VPN proxy necessary for the modern user, even if they're generally careful?
Because public Wi-Fi at an airport, a coffee shop, a hotel, it's essentially an open door for hackers unless you encrypt your connection.
Right.
VPN Proxy 1 turns that risky public Wi-Fi into secure Wi-Fi using bank-grade data encryption, offering complete anonymity. And critically, they state they do no location or activity tracking, which is a major privacy feature.
And the simplest preventative measure that most people fail at, password management.
The built-in password manager addresses that. It helps you create strong, unique, tough-to-hack passwords and then safely manages and encrypts them across all your devices.
It saves time and vastly improves your overall digital security.
It does.
Let's discuss the increasingly important area of online privacy and reputation.
IDShield offers reputation management. This scans your social media accounts for content, images, language, comments that could potentially damage your online reputation.
Which is critical when you're applying for jobs or loans.
Absolutely. It flags harmful content for your review and even provides a reputation score that ranks your online risk, offering actionable tips to improve it.
And for fighting back against the entities that harvest and sell our data, the data brokers, there's a specific feature in the U.S.
The Privacy Check feature. It's exclusive to the U.S. plan. It proactively scans major data broker sites for your PII. If your data is discovered, IDShield automatically sends deletion or opt-out requests to those databases every 90 days.
It's an automated battle against the commercialization of your personal data. Finally, what is the exclusive benefit of carrying both LegalShield and IDShield?
The dual membership benefit is powerful because it connects the financial, digital, and legal aspects of your security.
How so?
Members get one-on-one credit counseling education directly from identity theft specialists. They help you understand your credit rating, how it's calculated, what actions impact it.
And the legal side.
The LegalShield law firm can provide legal consultation on the laws surrounding credit and lending, offering a truly holistic layer of protection. You're not just repairing your identity, you're getting the legal consultation to manage the long-term debt and credit implications.
Transitioning now.
Yeah.
Many of our listeners are business owners, independent contractors, or entrepreneurs. They face massive legal complexities: HR, contracts, consumer lawsuits, debt collection. LegalShield has plans specifically tailored for this high-risk business environment.
Business owners operate under constant legal threat. They often face a severe dilemma: navigate legalities alone, which is immensely risky,
Right.
or pay astronomically high hourly rates to external counsel. This applies to HR matters like employee classification, understanding licensing laws, reviewing vendor contracts, dealing with tax audits, and crucially, collecting accounts receivable.
And LegalShield offers 3 small business plans designed to scale with the business: Essentials, Plus, and Pro.
Right. And they're priced monthly, for example, $49, $99, and $169 in Canada, and cover a scaling number of users, 2, 3, or 5 users, respectively.
The core of the service, like the personal plans, is proactive access.
Yes. All plans include unlimited consultation on business matters. But let's look at how the practical leverage services scale up, because this is where the tangible savings and risk mitigation really materialize for a small business owner.
Starting with letters and calls made on behalf of the business, the leverage component.
Okay, the Essentials plan provides 10 legal matter letters or calls per year. The Plus plan doubles that to 20 per year, half of which can be interstate matters. And the Pro plan offers the most robust support with 40 letters or calls per year.
And that proactive intervention can often prevent litigation entirely.
And resolves issues much faster.
And contract review volume is key to mitigating risk upfront.
Absolutely vital. Essentials covers 10 business documents per year, up to 15 pages each. The Plus plan covers 20 documents, up to 20 pages each. And the Pro plan reviews 40 documents, up to 25 pages each.
For a small consulting firm, reviewing 40 complex client contracts annually without hourly billing, that represents immense savings.
Immense risk mitigation and thousands in savings.
Debt collection is a huge operational necessity for maintaining cash flow.
And businesses often fail at it because they lack that legal hammer. The law firm assists by sending collection notices and making calls. The Essentials plan includes 5 per month. Plus is 10 per month, and Pro is up to 15 per month.
So the business owner can focus on running the business, not acting as a debt collector.
Exactly.
All the plans also include a valuable benefit for highly specialized legal areas that are typically inaccessible to small businesses.
That's the dedicated consultation benefit. All plans include 5 30-minute consultative calls annually on a wide range of specialized laws, tax, patent, securities, copyright, intellectual property.
So it gives a business the chance to explore protecting an invention, or navigating a complex tax issue without committing to a massive retainer.
Precisely.
The Plus and Pro plans introduce more comprehensive benefits, specifically around custom work and audits.
Right. For custom contract work, both Plus and Pro offer a huge advantage. Custom contract drafting or editing for a flat fee of $250, up to 25 pages.
Which saves potentially thousands compared to hiring a firm for hourly drafting.
It does.
And for those facing a tax audit, a nightmare scenario for any business owner.
Tax audit assistance is included in Plus and Pro. If the CRA or IRS notifies the business of an audit, Plus members get up to 25 hours of assistance, and Pro members get up to 50 hours.
And business tax audits are far more complex than personal ones.
Much more.
Intellectual property is often a small business's most valuable yet most unprotected asset.
Plus and Pro plans include assistance with one copyright or trademark filing per year, with additional filing discounts available. This provides the crucial foundation for protecting brand names, logos, or original content.
And for the most serious litigation threat, there's an optional add-on available for all plans, the Trial Defense Supplement.
That's the necessary safety net. For an example price of $14.95 a month, it adds 100 hours of trial defense per year, 75 hours for trial, 25 hours pre-trial. This protects the business if they're sued.
And finally, acknowledging the immense growth of the gig economy, there are specialized supplements like the rideshare and delivery add-on in Canada.
This is designed precisely for independent drivers. It includes specialized telephone consultation, document review, and specific traffic services related to rideshare activities. And crucially, it provides the necessary CRA audit services for income reported on those specialized gig driving forms. What's really fascinating here is how much the need for these services impacts people's overall performance, not just their personal finances. We have some compelling survey data that shows the direct correlation between unresolved legal issues, personal stress, and performance at work.
This moves the conversation from simply buying a benefit to it being a core strategy for improving employee productivity, financial wellness, and retention. Let's look at the prevalence of legal needs among employees based on that survey data.
The data is striking and undeniable. A massive majority, 79% of survey respondents, experienced a life event over the past year for which legal advice would have been highly beneficial.
So these are not fringe benefits. They address a widespread constant need.
Exactly.
What were the most common issues employees needed help with in 2022?
Well, the top 10 list shows people are dealing with fundamental life administration and unexpected disputes.
Like what?
Contract or document review, creating a will, trust, or power of attorney, general legal advice, traffic issues, buying or selling property, divorce, disputes with lenders or debt collectors, landlord disputes, child custody, and adoption.
I want to circle back to the critical issue of estate planning readiness, which we already discussed, because the data here is very clear.
It really confirms the gap. More than 50% of employees surveyed haven't finalized their will.
50%.
And even among the top cited life events, dealing with elder care, managing home renovations, and just having outdated estate documents were all major concerns.
And the impact of these unresolved, festering issues on job performance is substantial. This is where HR departments should be paying close attention.
Legal challenges significantly impact both personal and professional lives. A massive 49% of respondents reported that a legal situation added significant stress to their lives.
And that stress translates directly into lost work time.
It does. 25% of all respondents had to take time off work specifically to address their legal matters.
And for the time they didn't take off, they were likely dealing with the issues at their desk, thinking about their legal problems instead of their job.
Exactly. When asked about time spent handling legal issues during typical working hours, the numbers are sobering.
How bad is it?
42% spent 6 to 15 hours. 24% spent 1 to 5 hours, 14% spent 16 to 30 hours, and a notable 4% spent over 30 hours, more than a full work week, dealing with a legal problem on the clock.
Wow.
So the goal of providing this kind of accessible legal support is explicitly to alleviate that personal stress and that huge time sink, directly enhancing job satisfaction, focus, and ultimately employee retention.
But the data also reveals a huge benefits communication gap. If these services are offered by employers, why aren't employees using them?
Awareness is just severely lacking, and communication is failing. 27% of employees surveyed didn't even know if their employer offered a legal plan, and 31% didn't know if identity theft protection was available.
And even when they know a benefit is offered, they don't really understand it.
They don't. Over half, 52%, felt they didn't receive sufficient information during the critical open enrollment period. 47% felt unprepared to make informed decisions. And a staggering 45% said it just wasn't even easy to find the information they were looking for.
So what do employees actually want when it comes to learning about their benefits? They seem to be demanding a year-round approach.
They absolutely demand continuous communication. 81% of employees would welcome information about their benefits throughout the year. They recognize that life events don't just happen during that 2-week open enrollment window.
And they want updates.
52% desired updates more than 3 times a year.
And what are their preferred communication channels for getting this information?
They prefer diverse channels, but email remains king. Number 1 is email, then in-person meetings, then printed material, and then the company website or intranet.
And they want a human connection.
They do. 79% wanted to contact a live representative to ask specific questions about the benefits, and 62% were interested in virtual webinars.
Finally, let's revisit the demand for ID theft protection in the context of the workplace.
The demand is high, and it's driven by anxiety over constant data breaches. 51% of employees expressed interest in enrolling in an identity theft protection plan if it were available at work.
And here's the emotional payoff.
89% felt that simply owning an identity theft product would provide peace of mind. Just knowing their identity is being proactively monitored and would be restored if compromised. These voluntary benefits meet a profound emotional need for security.
So what does this all mean? We've taken this deep dive into the LegalShield and IDShield ecosystem, and we've shown how access to affordable, managed legal expertise and that concurrent digital protection, it moves the needle from theoretical justice to practical security. It impacts everything from your ability to get an annual review of your will to your basic focus and productivity at work.
The structural shift this represents is perhaps the most profound takeaway. It replaces a reactive, high-cost, anxiety-inducing legal model with a proactive, subscription-based service that's focused on handling those everyday issues that derail people's lives.
Right.
By leveraging centralized, quality-controlled provider networks, this model specifically aims to remove the cost and anxiety barrier that prevents a remarkable 71% of people from seeking essential legal assistance when they need it most.
That statistic, 71% of people needing help but going without because of the cost or complexity, that represents a systemic failure of justice and empowerment in the modern economy. It leads to greater stress, financial losses, and a tremendous reduction in overall productivity.
It forces individuals to sacrifice their security simply because the hourly cost is too high.
As you consider this data, think about the long-term, compounding costs of that systemic issue versus the power of proactive access. Consider the cost of just one unexpected event. One small business contract dispute leading to litigation, one unresolved debt collection attempt that tanks your credit, or one instance of identity fraud requiring massive personal time and legal fees to resolve. How much greater is that high, unpredictable emotional cost versus the predictable, affordable monthly cost of having a law firm and identity restoration experts effectively on retainer? That difference is the true value of accessible, proactive legal and digital security. That is something worth exploring further.